Boy, it's a nice day out here. I think this is the official start of the season for us. Boy, how'd he beat that? Bob's brought a whole bunch of toys here. That was a John Thread 49 SP, is that correct?
The 52E.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a 52E John Thread.
Related to.
Boy, the woodpeckers have been having a party. I wish I had the camera out when they were hitting on that tin roof. I didn't bring that much today. I just brought a couple of 372 variants. That's a 2172 John Thread, which is effectively a 372 top end, the X-Torque in John Thread plastic. And that is a 365 built into a 372 XPW configuration. Alright, that John Thread 2172 I just tuned, and I set it at 12,970 RPMs, no load. That's about right for those. Gonna make a test cut or two with that. Alright, this saw here is a standard, absolutely no modifications made to it, John Thread 2172. And it is really pretty much the same as a 372 X-Torque Husqvarna. And what I want to do right now is just make a couple of test cuts with this bar and chain combo. Use this for sort of a benchmark for the saws we're going to test as the day goes on. So anyway, here goes. Okay, this is take two. What I did was I put the chain from the standard John Thread on this saw.
Just give it that extra push that you can't with the other ones.
Yeah, that's an animal.
And it ain't broken in.
It's not broken in. I don't know about you, but my instinct says that one there is going to be close to the top of the stack on times.
Well, I think it is on top.
They're close, Bob.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a strong saw right there. You have that cylinder around?
I got both of them. Here you go.
Yeah, I think these two are at the top of the stack. No doubt.
Hey, you're the engineer.
All right. I don't know if, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these up to the camera so you can see the difference between the stock and what Bob does. And we're going to coin this modification Bob's SS. Now,
Spike Special.
the Spike Special. And what he does is, if you look at the intake port, ever so slightly lowers the intake port relative to stock to increase the duration of the intake timing. And he makes a cutout right here relative to stock to modify the transfers. And that's really it. Those two things right there is the difference between a Spike Special and a stock cylinder. Very simple.
Point out here, I mean, I didn't come up with these ideas all on my own. I mean, just learning stuff from watching a lot of guys that do a lot of extensive work. My idea with this was I wanted to come up with something that you could get some decent gains and only take you half an hour and not spend a whole day porting a saw. So these are some ideas that I just threw together, but I didn't invent this by any means.
But what you're getting is, without the base gasket, you get a hit in compression. And with the cutting of the skirt on the transfers, you help flow up the transfers. It also is that change in intake timing, plus the compression hit is a fairly significant change. Because you figure when you take the base gasket out, you also pick up 20 thousandths on both the intake timing, but also how long it takes for the exhaust to open. You get an extra 20 thousandths before the exhaust port opens. A little bit more time in the power stroke. But bottom line is this: the Spike Special is without a base gasket, increased duration on the intake timing, and a slight modification to the skirts right where the transfer parts are. And it's going to pick up some power based on the compression, the change in port timing, the slight change in port timing, and a little increased flow up the transfers. And as you can tell from that saw right there, it works quite well.
Yeah, the idea here is what can you do yourself? Anybody that can rebuild a saw can do this silly stuff, because this is simple.
Yeah.
There's no science here. This is just kind of easy. I mean, I did this by eye. I didn't measure anything. And, you know, yeah, you can get a little more out of them, you know, if you spend a whole day. And this is done with just simple tools, just a Dremel. You don't need a lathe, no degree wheel. And I'm not saying that that stuff doesn't get you more. It does. It obviously does. But you have to spend a day on it. If you can't do it yourself, you got to send it out and spend $300. And that's worth it to some people to get that little extra thing and have the fastest saw, you know, in the group there. That's okay. But if you just want to take it yourself, you get all kinds of good things out of these, which is, like I said, you can do this in 20, 30 minutes. And that's how much time it adds to just doing a stock rebuild.
Yeah.
So what's the big deal?
And it does make an obvious difference.